What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Meadow Green Homesteading. So today is an absolutely beautiful August morning. It's about 65 degrees out this morning and it's perfect weather to get some chicken processing done. So we have about 25 Cornish cross that we need to process today. We have 25 more coming in about 2 days. So we have to get these chickens out of our Salatin style tractor in preparation for the next batch of chickens. So stick around, I'm going to show you exactly how we do this on a small scale farm. I'm going to show you all the equipment we use and share with you some tips and tricks that we've learned along the way. The first tip that I can give anybody that's going to be doing this is to set up everything the day before. Tip number one. Tip number two is to try and find yourself a cool day to process your chickens on. You can try and time this like we just did, where mid-August for us, we have nice cool mornings. They're usually about 68, 70 degrees. And it gets up to about 80 degrees during the day, but the morning time is a perfect time to get to work. For us, setting up everything the day before has been a huge factor in how fast we can get everything processed, because it takes us about 2 hours to get everything prepared. We have to get the plucker, we have to get the scalder, the tables, everything all prepared, washed down with bleach and cleaned, and it just takes us a lot of time. So if you're doing that in the morning, that's 2 hours out of that processing day that you lose in the morning, that nice cool weather that you want. So get it done the day before and save yourself some time and keep cool. The first two pieces of product we have right here are the chicken scalder and a 40-pound propane tank. I like to use a nice big tank, that way I don't have to worry about running out of propane. The chicken scalder is just basically a turkey fryer we picked up off of Amazon. And then the third piece that we have right over here is a Vivor chicken plucker that we also got off of Amazon. Came in a little bit beat up, but you know what, for the price, I think it's been well worth it. It always starts right up and it does an excellent job with chickens up to about 7 pounds, plucking all the chickens. One thing I think a lot of people don't think about is how difficult some breeds of chicken can be to pluck. Now, the Red Rangers that we had on our first batch that we processed were probably about middle of the road, I would say, as far as how easy they are to pluck. They were kind of difficult, some of them were, because they were a darker feathered bird and they were more feathered out than the Cornish cross. The second batch that we processed were the Orpington roosters, and because of the dense feathering of the Orpingtons, they were really, really difficult to pluck. This time around, we're plucking Cornish cross. Cornish cross are known to have very light feathers, as in density and in coloring, so they should be a lot easier to go ahead and pluck and get processed. Now, the first time we processed chickens, we actually did it up here behind our house, and we thought this was going to be a great location when we had power and water. We were right close to the kitchen. We can get everything accomplished, get everything right into the freezer. The downside to that was that all the byproduct from processing the chickens sat 10 feet away from our house for weeks. It was, you can clean up as much as you can, but all the kind of like the dirty water, the blood and everything like that just gets into the grass. The dogs get into it, flies develop, it just turns into kind of a mess, and it lingered for weeks. So the next time we processed chickens, we actually went to our barn and we decided to try and do everything kind of off-grid up there, and it actually worked pretty well. So the way that we did this off-grid was we used our rainwater collection system off the barn. We ran a hose all the way to the area where we were processing. Processing the chickens at the barn did solve the area of the smell and everything being around the house. But the downside of doing it at the barn is we have no power or water up at our barn. So we were relying on the rainwater collection system and the gravity feed off of that rainwater collection system as our water source. And then we had to bring up a generator, which worked. But it's just we were listening to a generator all day long and it wasn't very much fun. But as far as smell and everything was concerned, you know, we kept it up there at the barn, which is quite a ways away from our house, and that was great. Eventually we will have power at the barn, we will have solar, we will have pumps and hot water and everything like that, and it's going to be a perfect spot to process chickens. But in the meantime, we decided on this third trip that we were going to just go ahead and do it back down at the house and just keep it as far away from the house as possible. So we're doing it right on the edge of our driveway today. We have our plucker on the edge of the driveway so that all the feathers come out and land right on the driveway, making it easy to clean up. And then all the water and the byproduct that comes out of here will just simply flow right down onto the grass. And we're far enough away from the house that it won't be a big deal. A couple small things that I like to get ready the day before is make sure that my knives are all sharpened. We have 2 of them. She'll be using one up in the field for the killing, and then I use this one for cleaning. These gloves right here, I buy at AutoZone, and these are non-slip gloves. They're automotive gloves. These work awesome. The first 2 times that I processed chickens, I didn't wear any gloves, and it's just a really slippery situation to get yourself in processing chicken without gloves, and these help out a lot, just kind of keeping everything in control, especially when you're working with very sharp knives. And just a couple of small things that I like to get ready is a fan in case it gets hot out. That way we're not running in and out of the house trying to keep cool. And I got myself a little radio set up because we want to make this entertaining and fun. Before it gets too hot, we're going to go ahead and get to work. Now, I'm not going to show the entire process and killing the chickens and everything like that. I know a lot of people don't like to see that, so we're going to keep that off of our channel. There are plenty of really good YouTube videos out there if you want to see the entire process from start to finish, from killing the chickens all the way to the bagging. So we'll pick this back up when it's time to vacuum seal all these, and I want to go over with you guys real quick what it costs to raise these chickens and what we got for weights. Well guys, there you have it. That right there is a 6-pound whole chicken. So we have 23 in the freezer, and we're ready for the next round. Alright, so we are finally finished processing all of our Cornish cross chickens, and I wanted to take a second to kind of go over some numbers with everybody briefly. I know that some of you might be growing chickens and wanting to see, what our cost is, or how we view things, and some of you may be looking to get into broilers. So this is a very small example of the kind of money that you can make with broilers. So we bought 25 Cornish cross, and we received them the last week in June. We had them on for 3 weeks. We had them on 18% Tucker Milling crumbles, and then the remaining 4.5 weeks, so there were 7.5 weeks today, we were feeding them 22% pellets. Now, these birds were actually a little bit bigger than you would probably want to bring to market. They're averaged at 6 pounds 2 ounces for the 23 birds that we processed. That's a pretty big bird, but there's a reason that we grow them so big. These are for us. These are for our family. We get 3 meals out of each one of these birds. So we like to butterfly them. We have 1 meal that way. Then we pick scraps. We make different things that way. And then we use the bird one more time. We make chicken broth and all sorts of stuff with it for one last meal. Like I stated, the average weight of these birds was 6 pounds 2 ounces. Now, if you're bringing these birds to market, typically people are selling these broilers or these Cornish cross for around $5 a pound. So when you multiply that out, it's somewhere around $750. Our total cost this year for growing these Cornish cross and what we have into the Orpingtons, which I consider to be our meat breeds, is $702.56. That's 2 tractors, all the food to feed both tractors, a Poisson waterer. That's everything all in. So if I sold all these chickens, made the $750, we would actually make $48 today, and we would have all of our chicken tractors and everything would be paid for. So you can see right there that growing these Cornish cross can be very profitable on a small scale. As I stated, the next batch we're going to grow out to 5 weeks, and I'm going to switch up the food intake, and I'm going to just be calculating the food cost alone on those Cornish cross. And if you subscribe and you see that video, we'll post that probably in about another 8 weeks. You're going to see that the profit on 25 Cornish cross, just feeding them, is very high. So building tractors and stuff like that is very low cost. If you do your research, if you make your own food, or you find a good feed mill that has inexpensive, good high protein food, like I said, you can really make a lot of money with the broilers. We still have plenty of chores to do today, so Gabrielle's inside taking a shower. She's getting cleaned up. I need to go inside, take a shower, eat some lunch, and then she's going to head up to the garden, do our daily picking. If you want to see what she has going on right now, if you look back 2 videos before this one, you're going to see what she's picking right now and what's in season. As for me, I'm going to go get cleaned up, and then we're going to go work on a chicken tractor. One of the most ridiculous things that I always see on social media is all the trends that are going around. Everybody always wants to get involved, and it's just kind of silly to me. But there is one trend that I see going around, and we're going to try that out today. We're going to make all the hardware mesh on this tractor disappear. So we've got ourselves a foam roller right here, just a little 4-inch roller, and we've got some flat black Krylon paint. We're going to go ahead and paint all the hardware mesh on this tractor, and if this goes the way that everybody says it does, you're not going to be able to see the hardware cloth, and you can see your chickens a lot better. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but this actually works really well. You can't even see it when you're standing out here. It's pretty cool. So I don't know how well the camera can pick it up, but I'm telling you, in person, is a side-by-side. It definitely does make a difference. You can see it on the camera, and obviously you can see it, you know, in real life, but man, it just made that mesh disappear. That is so cool. Yep, I'm calling that a success. We're done this tractor. I'm gonna go do the other one because I really like how this turned out. So for those of you that have watched the channel for any sort of time, you know that I've talked about in the past that we struggle with keeping the water in our chicken tractors nice and cool and clean throughout these hot summer months. It is vitally important that you keep the chickens' water cool because chickens actually won't drink water that's warmer than their body temperature. So for their health and well-being, you need to keep that water cool, and for their health, you really want to keep it nice and clean. We've struggled with this using the Poisson waters and dishes and gravity feeders in the past. The chickens scratching around, it just tends to get dirt and debris and all sorts of stuff in the watering systems, and then they get really dirty. You got to clean them on a daily basis. So we set out to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and I think we found the perfect solution. Check this out. This is a PVC system for our gravity feeding water. Now, I designed the system out of 4-inch PVC. It is all cellulose insulated, which is helping to keep the water cool. It's very easy to make. This is adapted for our A-frame chicken tractors, but it could be modified to fit just about any sort of chicken tractor. We have a couple watering cups down here. These are self-filling through gravity. And then we have a 4-inch sewer clean out right here with a cap so we can fill this. This system right here holds 10 gallons of water, and I'm only filling this for 15 chickens once every 4 days. So the way that the system works is you fill it up and it's going to just gravity feed, just like any other water we've used, right down into 1/2-inch PVC down along here. So it's feeding these cups through 1/2-inch PVC, and these cups actually come with a 1/2-inch PVC elbow that a 1/8 MPT threaded cup threads right into. The only downfall that I've seen to this system so far is that the chickens actually stood on this cup right here and broke it off. So I just have this one plugged. So what I've done is I need to build another one of these systems today, and I'm going to show you exactly how we put it together. And what I've done is actually bought a different brand of cup, and we're going to test the 2 different brands that I've purchased. All right, so we got all our parts laid out in the basement here, and we're going to start building another one of these waterers. To start off, we have a 10-foot long piece of 4-inch PVC, a 5-foot long section of 1/2-inch PVC. For our fittings down on the end, we have a 4-inch PVC tee. This is a sewer clean out, so it has female threads in it. We have 3 90-degree 4-inch PVC elbows, a 4-inch to 2-inch PVC reducer, 4-inch PVC cap, 4-inch PVC threaded sewer clean out. Then over here we have a 1/2-inch MPT to 2-inch PVC bushing, a 1/2-inch MPT to 1/2-inch bushing, 1/2-inch MPT elbow, and a 1/2-inch MPT cap. I have my primer and my PVC glue all ready to go, and these are the cups that we're going to be using today. Alright, so we finished priming all the parts up. Now let's start gluing everything together. All right, so there she is. We got one more watering system completely built. Just a couple of side notes. You saw me aligning these fittings per our drawing at 30 degrees, which is the angle of our A-frame. You would not have to do this depending on what kind of tractor that you have. If it's a square side chicken tractor, then you would not have to incorporate that angle. As you can see right here, I have all the cups decoupled from the main reservoir of the waterer. That's for two reasons. The first one is if I leave this decoupled, I only have to poke a hole big enough to get the piece of 1/2-inch PVC through the mesh wiring on the chicken tractor. If I glued all this up, I would have to make a hole big enough to get the watering cups and everything through, or at least the T-fittings, which is a little bit bigger than I would want. The other reason is I want to be able to adjust the angle of these cups once I have it in the chicken tractor. If I glued it up right here, it makes it a little bit more difficult to install. And I found out on the first one that this angle is just a little bit off. So what I have in the other tractors, it's actually kind of curved a little bit in order to stay right on the wall of the tractor. Well guys, it's been a really hot weekend here on our farm, but I'm really happy that we got all of our chickens processed and we have another waterer built. I'm not going to show mounting this on our A-frame chicken tractor. If you want to see how it's mounted, you can go back in this video and you can see how I just made a box frame out of 2x3s and then use that to screw it right to the side of the tractor. It's pretty simple, nothing fancy. But that's going to be a wrap on today's video. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. It helps us a lot. And if you want to watch our homestead grow, please hit the subscribe button. But until next time, we hope you have a great day.